Hi, this is Marco Rubio. Let me thank you for the privilege, the honor, the blessing of serving you here in the United States Senate. And this is this week's edition of Constituent Mailbox. As you know, every week we read letters on the air that you write to us, emails that you write to us, and then we answer those questions on the air. And I think that's why we encourage you to write us, because it gives us an indication of what's on your mind. This week I'm going to focus on education, because we came out with our bill that creates a corporate scholarship plan. Now, of course, this is always a controversial subject, and it elicited emails and letters, so I'd like to read one that I received, and it's from Joan in Venice, and she writes, "I read your piece on school choice. I disagree with you that teachers' union is only protecting themselves. Private schools will not strengthen our educational system. It is another nail in the coffin to take away the collective bargaining rights of working people." Let me say a couple things about that. First of all, I have teachers in my family. My sister's a teacher. I have 3 sisters-in-laws that are teachers. I went to public schools my entire life. I deeply respect the teaching profession. The truth is, the teachers' unions, they may care about education, but their #1 objective is to represent teachers in collective bargaining. Nothing in this bill has anything to do with taking away the right to collectively bargain. This has nothing to do with taking away rights from teachers or undermining public education. This is very simple. This has to do with giving parents more choices. So the fundamental question is, who should be the #1 arbiter? Who should be in charge of children's education? First and foremost, a school teacher, a public school administrator, a politician, or a parent? And my answer is a parent. Parents, first and foremost, should have as many options available to them as possible to where they put their kids in school. Now, wealthy families, they can put their kids in any school they want. Many middle-class families, they struggle, they give up things, they save money to put their kids in the school of their choice. But poor and working-class families can't afford to do that. And if they happen to live in a neighborhood with a school that is not performing well, they're trapped. And while we're out here experimenting with all these other ideas, these kids' years are wasting away without the opportunity to learn and progress. That is fundamentally unfair. It's fundamentally unfair. Now, this has nothing to do with undermining public schools. School choice means you can go to any school of your choice, including another public school. And by the way, it is my opinion that some of the best schools in America are public schools. I've seen it firsthand in Miami-Dade County, where I live. Some of the best schools in Miami-Dade County are public schools that have magnet programs and specialty programs. And school choice means allowing parents to send their kids there as well. But ultimately, who should have the choice where their kids go to school? Should it be the parents or should it be the government? And I believe it should be the parents. And that's what this bill is about. We have another letter. It's from Fred in Green Cove Springs. He writes, "School choice, is this an attempt to undermine public education? What is important is that we publicly fund education through at least undergraduate level. No one complains about publicly funded high school, but high schools 50 years ago got you a job. Now a higher education is needed for the U.S. to maintain some semblance of intellectual leadership." Well, actually, Fred, you talk about something that's important. School choice would also drive that innovation, and here's why. One of the problems that we have today is that we have this information technology revolution around the world, and that's a positive thing. The problem is, not the negative, but the consequence of that is that today increasingly middle-class jobs require a higher level of skills, and too many Americans don't have those skills. So what we need to do to address it is, #1, have quality retraining programs for people who have lost a blue-collar job to be able to be retrained with the skills they need for these new middle-class jobs. But the second thing is we have to ensure that our kids are learning these skills while still in school. And I'm a big believer in career education. I don't know why we are not educating more kids to graduate, not just with a high school diploma, but with an industry certification that allows them to find a job when they graduate high school. And I think that's along the lines of what you're discussing. And this allows to do that. If we have more school choice and more educational options, you can see now flourishing career academies and places that kids can go to pick up these skills when they're 16, 17, and 18, so that they're fully employable when they graduate, that we don't have to waste money thereafter remediating kids and so forth, and so we can prevent them from dropping out. And I hope that'll be a part of educational innovation. Look, school choice is not the solution to all of our problems. Ultimately, I think we have to have curriculum reform and all sorts of other things. But it is a part of the solution, and I hope it's a part of our solution that will continue to spread throughout the country. Well, thank you so much for writing me. As I tell you, your emails, your letters have an impact on us. It gives us insight into what's on your mind, what you care about, and we take into account your opinions, and they help frame our own. So thank you so much for all of you that have written us, and especially for those who we read their letters on the air. We continue to encourage all of you to write us and email us, because who knows, maybe next week your letter will be the one we read on the air. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today on this issue of Constituent Mailbox. May God bless all of you. May God continue to bless our wonderful state. And may God always bless the United States of America.